compel me, Mr. Buyer, make me an offer that my seller cannot refuse. If you're coming in on the first day on 775, come in Mississauga, come in at 800 firm, and then maybe we will. But otherwise, we can't sleep.
First of all, Kate, you're great, and I would use you as a realtor myself. You're fantastic.
Thank
I'm
you.
investing in Lakeview. If I have money, I'll invest.
Invest in Lakeview.
Yeah.
It's going to keep going.
I have a question about the irrevocable strategy. If you're on the buyer's side, because I'm starting to see that more
Mhm.
now, how do you deal with that?
Okay, if I'm on the buyer's side, I work very closely with my buyer. I do exactly with my buyer, exactly the same thing I'm doing with my seller. Mr. Buyer, please put yourself in the seller's shoes. You're asking this seller in one of the hottest markets we've seen since the late 80s to take their home off the market for you. How can we compel them to do that? So what do we feel is the best offer? They're at 775, and I've done this with my buyers. We need to go over list. We need to go significantly over list, and we need to go firm. And then you won't be in competition. So we sit down and we look at condition of other homes. And we start going furnace, air conditioning, kitchen, bathrooms, carpet, basement. We look at all of that. And we look at what those sold for. And I say, Mr. Buyer, is it reasonable in competition that this home may sell for $810 or $815? Like, you love it. You saw when we were doing our showing, there were 6 other showings. Is it reasonable to offer $800 to these people, even not in competition?
But what if the seller, if the listing agent is using the strategy of the irrevocable for 48 hours, and you don't want them to just, you don't want to just send the offer to them?
I'm putting firm 800, and I'm giving them till midnight that night,
Okay,
period.
okay.
So you ignore the
You
48
ignore the
hours.
48 hours.
I represent the buyer. I can do whatever
Yeah,
I want.
okay.
Remember, whatever side you're on, you can do whatever you want. You're in charge. You might not get what you want.
Gotcha.
Set expectation with your client, but you're in charge of your client. Your duties are to your client. So my duty to that client is to make that best offer and not respect the 48 hours, but give them whatever I want and see if they bite.
Okay.
How would you respond to, let's say you're having this conversation with your buyer and they come up, because I've had this in the past, where they say, I want to sort of do a bully offer kind of thing, but I don't want to overpay. How am I
There's no
mitigating this?
Nobody wants to overpay. Is it reasonable, Mr. Buyer, that this home, under the right market conditions, we had a person buy in December years ago. Is it reasonable? Could we as agents prove? It was one of my assistants, and he called me. He's like, Kate, this is what they're doing. What do I do? Duncan, tell your clients, is it reasonable that we're in December, that in March, this home could potentially sell for $635 or $640? I get that it's listed at $585 and they're asking 15, but isn't it reasonable to assume that in April it will sell for $635, $640 and multiple offers in that neighborhood, in that condition? Well, yeah, it really is. Sit down with your buyer and show them that. Show them what a deal they're getting now, that they're not in fact overpaying, that they are paying more than what December is, but they will definitely be paying less than what March is. Guess what homes of that in that area, in that condition, started selling for that March? 700. Whose interests did we represent? Did we get our buyers a deal? Those sellers were kicking themselves. We win! They won. It was a win-win. We had 2 parties agreed. The sellers won. They won it out in December. They got the closing date they wanted. They got a price they felt was reasonable for market conditions on that day. Our client was worried they had overpaid, but could see the logic based on the stats we had and the comps we were printing, that this was not an unreasonable expectation.
That's to assume that, you know, it's an off season versus a good season. What happens if that's in March? Your buyer doesn't want to overpay in March.
It's a buyer's decision. Mr. Buyer, I can't compel you to sign those documents. I don't know where the market's going to go. I don't know that Paris is going to be blown up tomorrow. We don't know the future. We can base our information on past performance. I've got 10 years worth of charts. I can tell you within a dozen buyers, how many buyers South Mississauga is going to have in February. I can tell you that within a dozen. I'm always within a dozen. Always. And that's not just what I feel, that's what the darn charts show me. So, Mr. Buyer, tell me again, why are we moving here? Well, I really love the school district. And when did you want to be here by? Well, I really want to be here by this date. And those sellers want that same date. So we've got that match for you. And do we agree that homes in this area are roughly selling at this price? Yeah. And do we want to find ourselves in competition, or if I can get you this home outside of competition? If this home goes into competition, will you compete for it? Will you? Will you compete for it? A lot of times they'll say, no, I don't want to get into competition, so let's go with no. No, I don't want to compete for it. Okay, so if I can get you this home now at a price that is somewhat reasonable based on where our markets have been going, and you don't have to compete, is it worth taking the shot today? Because if you're not going to compete for it and we're expecting it to go into competition, we haven't lost anything by trying now. I can't compel them to sign. Well, I really do like the neighborhood, and it's really great, fantastic. Take a pen. When they start talking about the things that they like and they love, just hand them a pen and start pointing. Don't talk anymore. My dad taught me that. My dad was freaking brilliant. He taught me that. When people start talking about their life around that home, he was in the motorhome rental and sales business. When they stop asking questions and start talking about the vacation they're going to have, he would hand them a pen. Because they didn't have any arguments anymore. The minute they stopped asking questions was the minute he knew they were all in. And he would just point, go, really, and then where are you going to go? And then what, are you going to go to Disney? That's fantastic. Here, no, you missed one right there. Okay. I've done that so many times. All of my success is because my dad told me to just push the paper, hand the pen. Okay? You can't compel them, but let them see they have an opportunity. Mr. Seller, it is your choice. Do you want us to try to take advantage of this opportunity, or would you rather wait for it to go into competition? Well, nobody wants to compete. So if I can get you this house outside of competition, are you willing to take that chance? Yes. Okay, then let's just do it.
And no one's going to sign an under asking bully offer. Like, no one's going to accept that.
No. No one's going to accept it. Okay? Okay, market direction, pricing. If the markets are going up, guys, what are we doing on pricing? What's our main strategy here in Toronto based on our markets going up? Because our markets are still going up. What are we doing on pricing? What's our best strategies?
Market price.
Market price. And then hold off on offers usually? Usually? Yeah. Okay. Is it safe that if the market is climbing, let's look at this graph. If the market is climbing, okay, is it safe to ask a little higher? I mean, that's what I did over at Main and Danforth. Yeah. So if we've determined 100% of the houses are selling, we can take a little risk, we can be aggressive.
Did you mean that you're setting the market price and then holding off on offers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we have to do a part and parcel of market exposure, right? Remember that part where we were talking about what is market value? Is a willing buyer and a willing seller after the home has been exposed to the market? We need to have the purchasers, the market forces, have the opportunity to know and see that product on the market.
I guess my question about that is working with buyers who see that it's listed at market price, they're holding off offers, there's a lot of interest, there's already 5 offers registered, and they just go, oh, forget it, I don't want to get involved in that.
Fair enough. So what do we do in that case when we're working with buyers? What do we have to do with our buyers?
Preemptive offer? Just kidding. What?
Preemptive offers, but again, it's going to have to be high. So what I do with my buyers is we lower what we're looking at.
Yeah. If you're representing the seller in that situation though, is that a concern for your seller that you might be
It's
scaring
not.
away buyers?
It's really not. The seller doesn't care. If they already feel comfortable and confident that you're working on a market value and the market's going to give them more instead of new market value, no seller's going to argue that. 5 offers, 15 offers. There was a townhouse in Mississauga, 35 offers.
Oh my gosh.
What the hell?
How do you even get through 35 offers? Listing
My
it.
highest was 22. We had a 3 p.m. in the afternoon offer date, fax them in. And we just started getting them in the morning and we started sending them back immediately. You're missing this initial, you're missing that, you're not even in the running. Go get us more money now or don't even bother. And we went back to the top 4. It was a power of sale. It was going to my lawyers. I needed a 3 p.m. cutoff time and they started getting emailed in the morning. So I made sure that by 3 p.m. everything that I had in my hand, from a legal perspective, because I'm sending this to a lawyer, we had a spreadsheet. Jane Smith, Remax, cell phone number, offer price. Does she have the Schedule C? Yes or no? Yes, we put a little tick. No, the offer went straight back. It's not in the running. We told you we needed a Schedule C. Don't send me an offer without a Schedule C, because you ain't getting it, okay? So it is easy to navigate through. It was $425, sold for $575. That townhouse is crazy. There were no market stats. Nothing had sold in that complex in quite a while, so they took an average of the area and just threw it out there to see what would happen. Do I want to be buyer number 35? Why would I even bother? So as buyers coming in, here's an interesting stat, and this is something I've done when I've got buyers coming into your neck of the woods here. Okay, I've got $1 million. Fantastic. Let's start shopping at $799. Because what is the average list to sales price ratio? The majority of homes are selling for 108% of list, say. So whatever the asking price is, are you qualified? Do you have a budget? So this is a matter of qualifying your buyer and knowing your pricing in your marketplace and knowing what you need to do math-wise to get them into the right bracket for them to be able to successfully offer. If you're losing again and again and again and again and again and multiple offers with your buyers, they're not qualified. You're in the wrong price zone.
That's a hot right there. That's awesome. You just lower it a bit.
Just lower it a bit.
So you basically go looking for like 92% of what they, and then you have a chance of actually getting it. For their
Stop
budget.
looking. I have a budget of 100,000. Stop, or I have a budget of $1 million. I lost a zero. I just time traveled back to like 1971. Oh my God, that was fun. Groovy back then.
Wow.
I have a budget of $1 million. Don't search available product at $1 million because we all know here it's going to sell for 1.150. We all know that. So don't start. You're putting them behind the 8 ball before you're even out of the gates. Know your pricing. Know your stats. Know what it's going to sell for. Start at 800 and go. Listen. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to find you the best product here. You're going to be able to compete. It's in that neck of the woods that you want. But it's not perfect. What's not perfect? Tell me more about that. I want that extra bathroom. Okay, so if we come over here 2 streets, now I can get you into those houses with extra bathrooms. Is that okay? Oh, I get it. I get it, okay. Cool. You're going to find me what I want. And I'm going to win. How many people here want to write another 15 offers that you already know will not win? We get a lot. This is why I market to Etobicoke agents. I love you guys. Because come on into Mississauga. I got lots of stuff that your buyers will absolutely consider and go, oh, I gotta live in Mississauga. But they'll buy it, and they won't be competing for it a lot of times. If the market goes down, for the love of goodness sakes, please price below the last sale prices. Well, the neighbor sold for 800. Fantastic. We're going to list at 775 in a down market. Just know that. Okay? That's all I'm going to say in down markets. Do not be afraid to be professionally honest. I have lost more listings by being honest, and I do not care. How wonderful is it? My best email ever. Okay, Kate, you told us so please come sell our house now. That was the email.
Awesome.
Best email ever. Yes. Okay? So I go through the whole strategy. Again, we're going to list at $650. You told us $699 when you were here last time. And you're also going to spend the $2,000 on all the fixing that needs to be done. Yeah, we know that. But you told us $699. Well, yeah, that was in a different market. That was 8 months ago, and that was before you listed with the other guy at $650. That cat is out of the bag. I can't put that cat in the bag. So I'm going to ask you again, do you want to sell your house? Yeah, but you said $699. His wife turned, and I did not know at the time she was pregnant. Found out right after they signed the paperwork. She turned to her husband and said, you sign that document right now. I'm afraid of my clients. He signed it. They were sold in 3 days for $647. She cried. They'd gone through 8 months of hell and price reductions. Had they listed in April at $699, when I had advised them to do so, instead of going with Joe Discount Agent, they would have netted $650 after paying my full commission. They would have netted $650. But now they're in a different market at the lower price because I can't change market perception. But they were sold in 3 days for almost full list. I mean, they were thrilled. They bought their new house and we're best friends and it's all great. So start compiling some of these things so that you can actually talk to sellers with some real examples to help them see why you're worth your commission, what you can do, what a difference a market can make. I can't change it back to May. We're October now. It is a different market. Okay? So be honest. Do you want me to tell you the truth or do you want me to tell me what you want to hear? Mr. Seller, if you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable right now, I appreciate that. It's probably because I'm being truthful. It's actually really hard for me to make people uncomfortable. I don't really like it when we're sitting here feeling like this, but I feel I owe it to you to show you what I'm seeing. And then if we can work together and agree on a price, we can get the paperwork done tonight. It's incredible how many people will come off that higher price and price it right. Or will then work with you on price reductions, okay? I do want to make sure that we get through to some of these exercises. Any questions around, around these things, condition? We had a lot around working on the, we see how important this pricing thing is even when we're working with buyers, right? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Say yes, thank you. Oh my God, I'll fall asleep.
I just have one question about
Yep.
when you very nicely say, will you sign the paperwork tonight? Yeah, but we're not ready. We don't have, the house is not ready.
Yeah, that's on closing, that's a whole different Ignite. Yeah, the house isn't ready, that's okay, we can sign right now, we'll do it exclusive, I do it exclusive, we can do our work to help you get it ready. We're gonna do it exclusive for 3 months, and the house is gonna be ready in about 3 weeks, so we'll get the MLS ready for that date. But this way I know I can work with you, because I can't work with people who aren't under contract with me.
Great, perfect.
Every one of our lists, unless we're 3-4 days out, because sometimes I walk into a home that's ready today.
Yeah,
Okay, but the majority of homes, you're working for a period of time. I will not take that on unless they're signed with me exclusive. Okay, and I go into them what all that means. But if they're not signed exclusive, it ain't happening.
One quick one,
Yeah.
kind of unrelated, but how about staging and cleaning? You pay for that or you?
Staging we do in-house. I've got my own inventory.
Yeah.
I've had some really good luck. We have looked after a lot of downsizers, so we actually got some pretty nice stuff from kids who went, I don't know what to do with this stuff, you want it?
Yes.
Yeah. And then I rented a couch and carpet and leather chairs for one of my clients. I was like, ugh. 'Cause I actually had to rent it, it wasn't stuff that I had, and then the company went out of business and let me keep it.
Oh my God.
I know, I got the best carpet ever. $435.
Holy
I got a couch, a massive, beautiful rug, and 2 leather club chairs. It was the furniture lottery that day. And everybody wants to keep that carpet, whose houses we put it in. We have 2 storage units, we do enough transactions, we can pay that. Most of the staging we do is minor, sometimes we hire a mover.
How
Pay for
long,
that.
how long would you do the exclusive?
As long as
for?
necessary. My longest has been 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah. My longest was 9 months. They signed in the fall, we sold in the spring.
How do you deal with your commissions? Like, are you like, this is what I'm offering?
Yeah.
And that's it?
That's it.
All right.
I don't care if you buy it through me, it's still 5%. I pay for movers. What do you want from me? I supply it all.
You pay for their move?
No, I pay for movers for the staging.
Yeah.
We do everything. I had one client with a snafu. Talk about referrals. You can't buy this kind of business. There was a major snafu. I had her back. I lost my whole day. I gave my entire day to this client because of the problem she had. She's referred me 8 clients. It was worth giving up the day. I have other people who can help me out. You can form alliances in the office. Have somebody have your back. If you do not have a team, form alliances. This can be a very solitary business. Don't let it be. Form alliances. Have each other's backs. Okay? So that if you need to give up a full day to a client, you can. The rewards will come back tenfold. This woman is like a loudspeaker and right in the heart of my market area. Oh my God, she's so awesome. I gave up a day. It was worth it. Okay. I want to get to some actual work. We've talked about all of these things. So let's get to the bullet points. So yeah, we're 11:16 on time. Factors that drive price. Let's just quickly do it together. One answer. What drives price?
Condition.
Market condition. There's one.
Location.
Location is another.
Combination.
Combination. All of those things are right answers. What sells? What does that mean? I don't know. What does that-
Competitively priced home.
Yeah, competitively priced homes, market value home. What the seller can't, what's one thing the seller can control?
Condition of their condition.
Condition. What's the second thing they can control?
You.
The realtor that you-
The realtor they choose. That's it. What can they not control?
Location.
Location,
Price.
Right.
price, everything else. They can't control anything else. Window of opportunity.
Markets, time of the year.
Markets, time of the year. Don't let seasonality burn into your brain. Well, it's December, it's a slow market, I don't know.
It was pretty good here this December.
It was, but there were a lot of realtors in our office, oh, not much sells this time of year, and I'm out door knocking and a guy went, well, actually, and we were sold 2 days later. Knocked him November 29th, December 2nd, he was sold. He goes, Kate, I lost a friend during all of this because my last agent. I'm like, well, you got a new friend. Yeah. You're even Steven. Okay, window of opportunity. Don't let limiting beliefs, okay? Get into that. Pricing is about market movement. There's strategies for markets going up. There's strategies for markets coming down. Be prepared for both. For the love of God, in a down market, don't chase the market. How many, I know we have a lot of new people. Was there anybody here licensed 2008, 2009? Couple of you? And how did that market go when we saw that hiccup? And that was a hiccup. I had some sellers coming to me. I'm like, they needed to sell. Well, this is what we're going to do. This is what the last house sold for. We're coming here. They went, I get it. I just drew it freehand. This is what the market, and this is where we are right now. She goes, I need to get out of here. So we priced it $10,000 under what the last house is sold for. It actually went into multiple offers in February of 2009 when nothing else was selling. Went into multiple offers. Don't think just because the market is going down that you cannot get the best market price for that day for your client. Okay? All right. All right, so everybody is going to use their computer on this. Use a house from this neighborhood that I've actually seen, because I have people starting to think about moving into this area. I'm always excited when I can come back into Toronto, because it gets really boring staying in the same market area all the time. I love Kingsway, I love Bloor West. So we usually look at houses and then go get some dinner. It's really, you can make a night of it, right? Like, especially if you like your clients, have some fun with it. You can kind of let loose, and it's incredible if you do something like that. If you've got that kind of a relationship, how much more information will come out over a glass of wine about what you've just seen? Do you think that might actually help narrow down your search for them? Always be listening.
What's referrals after?
And referrals after, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this house, so I'm calling in, and I got your name, and I'd like you to come over and do a CMA for me. So let me tell you a little bit about my house. I live in the section of streets that is, I'm directionally challenged, northwest of Jane and Bloor. Very close to Jane and Bloor. I can walk to Jane and Bloor in about 2-3 minutes from my house. That's all I'm going to give you, because some of you may recognize the house, so I don't want there to be a cheat. It is a detached home. My lot's 25 feet by 95 feet deep. That's my lot size. And I've got 4 bedrooms. I'm detached. I've got 4 bedrooms, and I've got 2 washrooms. One upstairs with the bedrooms, a 3-piece. We redid our shower. It's in good shape. And one in the basement. I don't have a garage, so it's like permit parking, which is such a pain here. Heating system is gas. It's water. I've got rads. We never upgraded, but we really like it the way it is. My kitchen is pretty nicely done. We've got, like I said, the bathroom upstairs is all renovated. We've got built-ins. The decor is very tasteful. It shows very well. It kind of looks like a magazine. I've got the original gumwood trim, so it's not a new home. Okay, have I given you enough general information? Okay. So, I would like, let's see, let's do this in 3 groups. If I could get, I forget your name. Nick. Nick, if I could get you to join this group here. And if I could have your name? Cynthia. Cynthia, if you could slide down, and maybe you guys here form a group. Maybe we'll do 4 groups, okay? And get a group right across the back. Gentlemen with the glasses and on the end, if you could join these folks at the back, and if you two could join this group here. So as a group, I'd like each of you to come up with what you think the relative value of that would be. We don't have a board here for me to write some of these things down. So put your hand up to ask for more details. So Bloor and Jane, Northwest. I want to know, over the phone, without you having seen the property, just based on my general description, what my house is roughly worth. What do you think it might actually sell for? No parking. No parking. It's northwest. Okay, we're going to have a lot of questions as we go through this. Okay, and I want to make sure that I get you, that I respect your time, that I get you out of here on time, and still have the opportunity to answer your questions. So, here we are, multiple different ways to do our search.
1.3?
Okay, I like a map search to start with. Can I have, with your exception, can I have the groups give me roughly what you think, based on the information that you had, and this is over the phone, about what we think the sale price, what I as a seller would see for the property. Let's start at the back.
We think 1.2.
1.2, okay, and this group here?
I think we're 1.2 as well,
Okay,
but I think we should know which one we're talking about.
okay.
Yeah, I'm
so-
laughing.
Yeah, no, you're I think,
Baby
around-
Point seems to be a critical street in that
Okay,
area.
okay, so 1.2, Because you look like you're kind of on your own, so.
No, I was.
Okay, so 1.2, this group here,
We didn't really, we came up with slightly over one,
slightly over 1.
but we haven't looked at enough to really firm our opinion.
But you know you're somewhere north of the
We've been
middle.
knowing the one.
Okay.
That's what we
We have
know.
1.06.
And,
I didn't share with them. I'm gonna say 1 to 1.1, but if.
1 to 1.1, okay. So everybody is pretty close in this pricing. So how many people, how many groups started with a map search of that area?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, how did you guys do? You don't have your hands up at the back?
We know the area,
Yeah.
so we just went by streets.
Well,
Just went,
the streets
you just
that we
went
think-
directly with
Yeah.
streets, okay, perfect. So when you're searching here, how far afield do you go generally? Like, obviously, if I'm a seller, I'm saying, yeah, I'm at 123 Main Street. I mean, obviously, we're not doing CMAs without knowing exactly what street we're on, right? But generally, if somebody tells you that they're on, let's say, DeForest Road, how far off of that are you going, or are you staying like immediately?
Depending on the area.
It's just few streets, north and south, so
Okay.
that they know the street as well.
Exactly. Okay, so that's great. So that is exactly what I'm wanting to hear. There's multiple ways of doing this. I personally really like map searches. I can zoom in and zoom out. We're not necessarily as heavily concentrated in South Mississauga, so sometimes I have to go further afield. And I have to remind sellers that you are in competition, like if you're in Lorne Park, you are in competition with Mineola and Oakville, and they forget that. So I will pull in a lot of information. Other things that help with pricing is pulling up a lot of expired listings. Always take expired listings, okay? I've had a few that I've knocked out of the park because I've shown, well, I was thinking of going with this agent because they're so well known. And I'm like, well, I'm really glad that you said that. Let's take a look at this agent's process. This house started at 5 million and then came to 4 million, then 3 million, and she had it at 2 million. Then it expired with her and went to 1 million and then went to 500. Then, when it finally came to 500 with a different agent, this agent who had it at 2 million brought in an offer of 475. So she had all the buyer along and took your listing without believing in the price just so that she could get the listing and didn't even bother bringing her buyer until it was priced right.
Wow, you're
Wow,
scary.
that's some
That's
snap.
powerful. I print them off because I'm up against massive marketing machines. Loretta Finney, Sam McDaddy, James Hodgins, Matthew Regan. Sam McDaddy spends $1 million a year in advertising. $1 million a year. That is his budget. Loretta's budget is about $300,000 to $400,000 a year on advertising. I don't know what James is, but I imagine it's pretty close because he's in all the same publications. Can we beat these massive marketing machines? Yes, we can. Show your seller, your potential seller, what the process is and what that means around pricing. Yeah, Kate, I decided to go with the other guy. Fantastic. Is it because of commission? Yes, it is. Super. Now that you work for him, what is he doing for you? What do you mean I work for him? Well, you just became his supplier. So the claws really come out. I don't like to lose. She just told me I lost, so I've nothing to lose. You now work for him. You just sold him advertising space on your front lawn. He just paid you $13,000. It's a $1.3 million listing. He cut his commission by 1%. He just paid you $13,000 to get his sign on your lawn because you're on a fantastic street.
But
For
you wouldn't
signage.
necessarily know how much she cut it, right?
She told me.
Oh, she told you? Okay, oh, sorry. Okay.
She told me 1%.
Okay.
Great. $13,000. So the rest of the money goes to his team and his profits. So you needed a lot of help to get your home ready. What is he offering to do to actually help you get your home to market? Oh, I didn't think about that. Have you signed with him yet? No, we haven't. I can be there at 6:30. Will your husband be home? We need to have another conversation around this. Yeah, he'll be home. signed at 5% at 6:30 that night.
Wow.
And I sent over my stager, I sent over an extra stager, we packed for her. So he gave up 1% to get the sign on the lawn. I spent $875 on 2 staff people to get that listing. I discounted a hell of a lot less than he did.
It's sometimes strange. I had a conversation with a friend the other day. She lost the listing because the other agent sent in a yard cleaner.
Yeah.
What does that cost? Like $200.
That's happened to us too. It happens. It happens. Listen to what the sellers are saying. Once you're done with this whole price thing, listen to what the sellers are, I'm back in for credit. Listen to what the sellers are saying. Take a blank piece of paper, because I lost one because of you. Killed me. Oh, I was too busy doing this. Dang it.
Do you cost out everything with them? You know, like, what do they owe on their mortgage?
No.
You don't go through all that
That's fine.
closing costs and
If they ask, I will.
some of them seem to need more help in that
Yeah.
area than others, so you just go by.
I go by what they need. I listen to them. What do you need? You sit with me. I'm gonna figure that out all on my own. I don't need you to figure that out for me. I get it. I might have questions. Do I have to pay for this? Do I have to pay for that? Yes? No? Okay. Done. And I'd have to gouge my eyes out if I sat with myself for as long as I sit with other people. I gotta pee. When are these people gonna stop asking questions? But I'm very patient. People have 10,000 questions. I will stay there for 2 hours, if it's 2 hours worth of questions that they have. And all the way through, and there's other times where we're 15 minutes in and I'll ask, are we ready to get going? Yeah, we actually are. Fantastic, sign here. You just keep asking all the way along. Sign here, sign here, sign here, and sign here. Okay, so we did a map search. We've hit some streets. What are the main points? Let me get back to our map here. What are the main things that we were looking for? What is the very first thing we're doing? Either maps or streets, right? So where was I? We're zoomed into this area. Okay. And we did have one person in the class actually find the house, so kudos. Oh my gosh, it is. God, it's slow.
Yeah, it's slow, yeah.
Maybe this will speed it up, it's not as broad. Okay, I don't know if it's your Wi-Fi or if it's Treb. Sometimes it's Treb. Okay,
sucks here.
okay, it was 7 Humber Trail. Okay, it was 7 Humber Trail. It was sold for 1175.
Oh, really?
1175 was the sale price. Asking price, 1,089,000. Okay? So what we're doing is we're taking this house, and when we're on the phone with people, we're getting all of these details so that we can do a CMA before we get there. Very rarely do I walk into a house and I'm surprised that it isn't what I've heard over the phone. Because I'm pre-qualifying all the, I don't want to figure it out when I'm there. Okay, I don't want to figure it out when I'm there. I want as much information as I can get before I go in, so I can have all of this done, because I will send them what in my mind, based on what they have told me, are the most relevant market statistics. I'm emailing them all of that information in my pre-listing packet. So I need all of this information from them: detached, 4-bedroom, 2 bathrooms, lot size, backing onto what, walking distance to the subway. Am I right over the subway? Is my house rattling? I've been in a few of those.
Can I just stop? I mean, that sort of information backing onto whatever, and how do you pick up that from the?
I ask them. They give
Oh,
me an
I see.
address.
Yeah, but if you're doing a search and stuff, you're not going to be able to compare that.
Yes, you can. You should be able to.
Yeah,
So if I've given you an address, you can do a search on Treb for that street, so you know exactly where they are. You can go onto Geo Warehouse, and you can get the overview of that to see the exact dimensions. You can drive up and down Google Street Maps. You can zoom in. I love houses on corner lots, because I'm on Google Maps, and now I'm driving the street and I'm going around and I'm looking in their backyard. What am I assessing?
Where they are.
Where
And what
they
the
are
house looks
and
like.
what it looks like. And then I look it up from when they, a lot of, 5 to 7 years, people move every 5 to 7 years. There's probably an old listing. There's probably an old listing, so I'm pulling that up. What improvements have you made since you bought the house? Or am I walking into the same kitchen, the same bathrooms? And if it did sell 5 to 7 years ago, odds are pretty good I was in the house. People will call me, I live on Eaglewood, I have this, this, and this. I'm like, oh my God, you're the yellow house. Okay, and I'm gonna guess a lot of you who are in here who have been around for a little bit can do exactly the same thing in your market areas. And for those of you who are newer, be that agent, be that person. How many homes should you be previewing minimum each and every week?
10.
10. Do it. My daughter hates being in the car with me on a Saturday afternoon if I'm not working. Hates it. Because I'm stopping at every open house on my, between wherever I was and on my way home. Okay, it doesn't matter that I've probably been in it before, I'm going in it again. How powerful is it when you meet with a seller? Now here's 2 things to remember. Number 1, when you're doing a CMA and you're going through your comparables, so you've pulled up all the other Humber Trail homes and all the other surrounding homes, you're talking about all of these that were on Halford and Rivercrest, you're talking about all of those, you've got them all printed, you've maybe emailed them a package, you've printed them pictures so they can see it, or you're using the app and you're going through pictures. I'm very careful. Mrs. Seller, have you, so now I'm using this as a comp. She lives next door at number 9 Humber Trail. Mrs. Seller, did you know your neighbors next door? Were you inside number 7? Or did you go through the open house? Oh yeah, I knew those people. I've been in that house thousands of times. Because I haven't been in every single house. Be very careful. Sellers know the people who live around them. Odds are very good. They've been at a dinner party in that person's house. They know that house. My kitchen is so much better than their kitchen.
Always.
Well, it's special. They cooked there. They had their kid's birthday party and the friend threw up and then the dog came in and slipped in it. So it's really special. It's always better, right? So be careful. Know that. They know and they think they know. That's the dangerous thing. So query them. Have you been in number 7? Fantastic. What were your favorite things? How do you think this compared to yours? You're not making statements to them now about what you think. Horse and a frog. Get their perceptions. Super. Have you been in number 11? Number 11 sold 2 years ago. Oh no, I was never in number 11. What was special about it? So now you can talk about the talking points about the ones that you've been in. So how do you think that would compare? Okay? So query them prior to going through everything. They've probably been in a lot of the homes, and if they were on open house and they were thinking of selling, guaranteed they went through it to see the competition and the relative pricing because they're doing their own CMA. We're there to assist them and guide them through, not battle with them, horse and a frog. We're there to work together. Okay, we're there to work together. So I'm really, I did keep it a very small area. I did figure that most of you would kind of zoom in on that price. So fantastic. We're thinking 1.2-ish. What would your recommended list price be? 1.1, right? In this market? Yeah. In this market? Absolutely. Any other questions on this? All right. So let's share some ahas. What are some of our ahas from today on pricing?
I'm just so excited that you talk so much about stats because I feel like I over-research every property that a buyer wants to buy or a seller wants to sell, and I love it, and I feel like I've often doubted myself about that, but I'm usually bang on with price. So that helps me a lot because I think I'm wasting time or I'm doing too much of it. But I love all of your charts and all of that. I wonder how much you have to gauge the personality of the person you're talking to when you present it. Okay. Because I've had couples that are complete opposite. One is eating it up and the other one's going, okay.
They're always opposite.
Yeah. And it's tricky, I don't know how to deal with that very well, because I love the stats, I'm more of the stats person.
So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Everybody clap for her sharing that vulnerability on not knowing what to do with that. I really appreciate you sharing that with the class. If you've got one who's eating it up, the natural inclination for you and for me is to, because we get excited about it, we want to do that. Reset, take a breath. While you're looking at these charts, let me know if you have any questions. So you're the stats guy and you're the emotional one, right? You're the couple. So take a look at these. Let me know if you have any questions. How are you feeling about the process? What questions do you have for me tonight? I want to make sure that I address everything and all the questions and queries that you have.
That's great.
Okay? And eye contact.
And tilt to the head.
Tilt to the head. And sometimes if opportunity, if you're walking through the house, touch. Don't touch him, because science and math rules. My sellers the other night, we had pictures, we had letters given to us, and the wife was going, oh my God, I'm so excited, and her husband is, Jesus, science rules. Like, come on, just show me the number. Like, okay, we each have our process here, but sometimes touch can work. Unbelievable what eye contact with that non-statistical person will do. And if you maintain that, yeah, it is a median, it's not an average in that particular case. Okay. So you tell me what you need. He'll be happy with that. He doesn't care. Because he's eating it up. He's loving it. You've given him facts. He now trusts you. And I've connected with you. I feel you. I've got your back. No, it's okay. We'll cover that. I know, right? Oh, it's all a script. I feel you. Kate, you didn't get the listing because you didn't feel my house. I had a year where I had 4 people tell me I didn't feel their house.
Feel better.
Really? So now I love every house. Wow. Oh my goodness.
So you use scripts all the time?
Everything I say.
Everything you're saying
Everything
is
I say is a
because
script.
it just sounds, I think I have a realtor crush on you. It sounds so legit.
Where's the boots, right?
It sounds so authentic, it really does.
It is authentic.
Oh, okay, and it's scripted.
Yes.
Practice.
You believe in it.
Practice.
So it
Yeah.
becomes you.
Because it's true.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I care about what she needs. I want your transaction to go well. I want you to come to my client appreciation brunch, and I want you to bring your friend because you are so excited to have met somebody who felt your need to get just that right location on that right street so that your children wouldn't get hit by a car when they chase the ball in the street. And you so appreciated that I looked after your bank account and your future because you're looking after your family. It's on you because whatever, and you feel that. It's all authentic. Come from that place. Come from that place. For the love of God, do your homework. Don't wing it. Be the expert. Don't be a know-it-all. I've had enough no's because I was a know-it-all. Please learn from my mistakes. Use it, trust it, let it give you that confidence. You have that confidence when you're speaking with somebody. Now learn how to soften it. And ram it down their throats when it needs. Because sometimes you just got to take your watch off and be willing to walk away, because I was not taking that listing at $750. I was not. $729 I could live with. Because I knew I can get them from $729, I can get them to $699 if it's warranted. I can't get them to $699 from $750. And I'm not taking it for that. Let somebody else deal with it. I'm willing to let it go. I can't afford the staging, the videos, everything that goes along with it. I'm not spending, and I said to her, I'm out dollars up front whether you sell or not. So to spend money and then have you badmouth me because it didn't sell, because we chose a poor price. How does that work for you? How does that work for me? Okay, what other ahas do we have?
The pen, it's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the pen. Thanks, Dad.
You can try that tonight.
Thanks, Dad. Yeah.
And the pull-up expired listings was great, like to go into a listing presentation. I think that's super valuable. There's 2 like people in my neighborhood that really advertise. I get their business cards once a week, and I'm like, how am I gonna take them down? And I feel like I see her Davenport, I'm not gonna name names, I see her Davenport there, house there, listed there, and their Connolly Street one, like, for months.
And
I think expireds are also important in our market because nobody thinks there's any expired.
nobody
Exactly.
thinks, again, and that's
Know how
a
the bank
huge
expires.
perception. So
Yeah.
that's why that first chart, where in our market area only 30% is selling, and interestingly, in all of Mississauga last year, our best month had 60% sell. 40% of the homes on market still did not sell. Mississauga never hits 100% sales in any area. And Sam McDaddy, who, and I can talk about it because I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about his brokerage. His brokerage stats, he spends $1 million a year on advertising. He sells, I think he sells 500 to 600 homes a year. And that's only 45%. Actually, this year he's better. He sells 50% of what he lists. 50%. 50%. There's something very powerful to tell Mr. or Mrs. Seller. Well, you know, his marketing program, yeah, that's fantastic. You'll be another one of those little mini things, and only 50% sell. So tell me again why we're here tonight, and dig deeper to their motivations and reasons. All of that digging will help you get them to where they should be, together with you, whether it's a little higher, a little lower, but at a place where you're in it together to get them that sale price and closing date that they want and need. If you need a price reduction, that's a much easier conversation to have. Other ahas? One more before we
Just one
go?
question, Kate. To get the stats of the ones that don't sell, do you pull up the expires? Is that how you get the
Yeah,
percentage?
I pull up the expires and terminateds. So I was in one very bizarre, exclusive, special little pocket, Lorne Park Estates. I don't know if anybody's been along Lakeshore. They've got a little white sign. You can't, very intimidating to go down those streets. Very special people live there. Apparently they stand backwards while they put their pants on one leg at a time. I don't know. And disagreed with me on price, and I said, I appreciate that. And I usually take my computer with me on listing appointments, just in case. Fire up the computer, pull up TREB. Here's your neighborhood stats for the last 2 years. We have 47 listings for the 6 sales that took place. So let's sort them by address. Terminated, terminated, expired, 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 terminated, terminated, sold. Terminated, terminated, expired, 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 terminated, terminated, sold. There were 8 to 12 listings per sale because the sellers all started here and battled their way down with an average days on, and I will print them off and I will calculate, because Trev won't do this for you, original listing date, final sold date. So I can sit with somebody and say, Mrs. Seller, that particular realtor, here's all of their listings for those homes that you're talking about. They were on market for 487 days and sold for 79% of list. Is that what you're looking for? Because if it is, I'm not your gal. They will engage in a reasonable conversation after something like that. And then you work together. You might still have to go through 3-4 listings in a long period of time, but you're going to start an awful lot closer to where you need to be. Okay?
I have a quick question,
Yeah?
off topic a little bit. Door knocking, what do you choose? Is it a farm area or do you go with this?
Well, there's a city called Mississauga. So we're starting at the top and we'll stop when we get to the bottom. And when we get to the bottom, we're going to start at the top again.
Seriously?
10,000 doors last year. And
Really?
now I've got more people on my team and we'll be hitting the entire city probably twice this year.
Wow. Great.
We get a lot of deals from door knocking. I love being face to face with people. This warm weather,
Yeah.
killing it.
Yeah, this one is great.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Can you press the
So if you
end the recording
want-
button?
I forgot to talk about